The key to living is giving. This is what seven-figure entrepreneur Akbar Sheikh has been saying for his whole career. He even gave a TEDx speech about the power of giving. And what's funny is that whenever we think about giving, we usually say, yeah, I'll give back when I'll have more money. And I'm guilty of that too. But I completely changed my mind after talking with him in this episode of the Coffee with a Personal Brand podcast. In fact, in our conversation, he's going to share how anyone can leverage the power of giving to launch and scale a profitable business. He's also going to share the biggest lessons he learned in each business model he worked in and the truth about the hustle culture that no one is telling you about. Let's get into it. Hey Akbar, welcome to the show.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you on and welcome everyone to the Coffee with a Personal Brand podcast. I'm your host, Alberto. I'm a copywriter and marketer for personal brands, and I have my espresso here. I'm Italian, that's part of my branding. And today we're having a coffee with Akbar Sheikh. Are you a big coffee drinker, by the way, Akbar?
It's funny, man. I've very recently become one. I've been a big tea person, and it's kind. I guess tea is a bit of a gateway drug to coffee. I don't know, man. It's an interesting topic. I mean, I've often thought it's kind of a silly habit. I have a very addictive personality, and now it's like coffee, 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 and it's just kind of like. It's interesting. There's some religions they don't take caffeine.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and yeah, like I don't know. I don't think there's much nutritional value at all, but it is kind of silly that like I'll wake up and one of the first things like, oh, okay, let's have a cup of coffee. And it's just kind of this habit that's potentially ridiculous. But for now I don't know. Are we enjoying it? I guess I don't know. It's weird. Actually, it's become a bit of a just a habit. Do we love coffee? No. Do we like going for coffee every day? Yes. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah, it's a nice one. Yeah, and it's very interesting that in this podcast I find that most people have an opinion about coffee. So I always like to break the ice with this question
yeah.
because everyone has some kind of experience and some type of past with the coffee.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was addicted, or yeah, I need 8 cups a day or stuff like that. So it's
Well, I
a
used to have,
polarizing topic.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I used to drink mushroom coffee, which had some health benefit. I mean, truthfully, I should replace coffee with something of some benefit. I mean, I don't think there's much
No, you
nutritional.
might want to do some research because I think there's some recent studies that coffee does have some health benefits. So it's not just
Really?
an yeah, yeah. So I
Okay,
think
that's good news.
up to 3 or 4 cups a day or stuff like that, it's good. If you go past
Okay.
the 6 or 7 or 8, then it becomes like yeah, very very
Yeah.
like yeah it has a big impact on your nervous system, so you might want to do
Yeah.
some research on that, and I don't know if it's good for like because if you like it then you will have more reasons to get into it, but
That's funny. Yeah, that might be a slippery slope, a can of worms to go into.
exactly. Yeah,
Um,
besides coffee, so why don't you start by sharing a bit of your story and who you are for those who don't know you.
well, I'm founder of the Make More, Give More movement. At the end of the day, I'm really a talent scout. I find people who are doing incredible things, helping people become happier, healthier, wealthier, but they're just not, they have a God-given gift that can really help people, but they're not helping enough people because they don't have a client acquisition system built. So that's basically what we do. We help them craft their offer, build a funnel around that, and help them drive traffic and really help them make their first million online.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
basically what we do. Yeah.
I love the talent scout concept. I never I've spoken and worked with a lot of business coaches and people that do something similar to you, and but no one never talked like said, "Oh, I'm a talent scout," but it makes so much sense. I love this framing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you talked about the make more to give more. That's your whole like your main concept that when I look for you online, that's what comes out. But I also like I think that
the first thing that comes out if you type on YouTube your name, you have what appears is a famous TEDx speech that you gave, that is on YouTube. That is all about the power of giving. Again, make more to give more. And as we're recording this, just for your information, I don't know if you know it, but your TEDx speech has 81,000 views. So
Oh,
pretty,
wow.
pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
so since your movement is called Make More to Give More, I'd like to ask you, what have most people, including coaches and entrepreneurs, been getting wrong about the power of giving?
Hmm. I think there's two things. I think that some people think that in order to make it big, well, some people think that when I become big, then I will give. And my argument is that in order to become big, you need to give. And the other misconception is I think a lot of people just associate money with giving, but the reality is that giving um, is much more. It can be your time. It can be money. It can be even a smile. It can be just effort. So it's just about really giving. Uh, to be clearer, is more servitude. It's just serving, trying to serve people however you can. And let me be clear, like I'm a little weird. So like I speak a lot. I speak a few times a month. I travel all over America. And I actually love speaking on stage. I actually enjoy it. I like it, whatever. But I actually don't necessarily. It's funny when I get off stage, I kind of hide a little bit because I don't necessarily enjoy having one-on-one conversations with people. So my form of giving is like I'm going to give you my all on stage, but then when I get off the stage, I'm out because I just not wired that way. Like I can't give to you in a one-on-one capacity. Um, I'm just not wired that way. So however you can give, and people get a lot of impact. I was just at a talk in where were we? Las Vegas. And this lady came up to me. She liked one of my lines so much. She said she's going to tattoo it on her body. And so, I get a lot of people come up to me after I give talks. Oh my God, that was great. This one thing you said that really like changed my whole perspective on this and that. And so it's a winning formula for me to give via content, via performing on stage for me. For you, you might hate that. You might just be very comfortable talking to people one on one. So, however you can give, just give that way.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And so basically, you're talking about not just money, but giving value, helping
Money
people.
yeah. The thing, and here's the funny part about money. You know, it really just it loses its impact very, very quickly. I mean, its effect on you very, very quickly. Meaning this, it becomes like writing bills. Okay, my mortgage is due. Okay, my car payment is due. Okay, my kid's school payment is due. Okay, here's a charity check. Here we're building a water well, and it just becomes another check because a lot of these charities, you don't even they're like I support a lot of stuff in Africa because my parents are born. I don't get to see it. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like I actually recommend doing things locally that you can get your hands on. If I was to go back and do things differently, I think I would have probably done that. I probably would have opened some sort of community center or something like that here. It was just, I never thought about it. It was an easy thing to do. But I mean, like, cutting a check is easy, man. Anybody can cut a check. The amount is different for people. Some people maybe $1, some people maybe 10,000, whatever. But I really recommend doing, if you're going to do charity work, do something you're meaningful and do something local that you can have your hands on. Open a small food pantry, whatever you're passionate about. Like I'm going to open this little center that's teaching people business for free or whatever, or like you're a copywriter, right? I'm going to open this little community center where people are going to come in here and learn about copywriting for free or whatever. You know, do something local, do something you're passionate about that you're hands on. That's where you'll get happiness because there's a lot of people like on top who are like miserable and actually suicidal. And I think one of the keys to happiness is contribution. I mean, um, you know, when you're doing something hands-on, it's a lot more satisfying than cutting a check. Cutting a check is cool, but it's the least, I think, for yourself, the least what impact, it's smaller on the impact scale.
Got it. Got it. And since you're also a salesman, I would like to give you an objection, like, uh, because probably the average broke person will say, "Well, yeah, that's very, very, very nice and very romantic and all that stuff, but I'm broke. I don't know what to give, and most importantly, how will give to other people help me?" Financially and open opportunities. Like, could you give some examples? I know you have some examples for your
Oh,
personal story.
I joke. I say, look, I'm a technologically illiterate, funny looking brown guy with a name nobody can spell or pronounce. Yet how did I hit the top 1%? Honestly, I'm not that smart. I think some people hang out with me, they get kind of surprised. They're like, oh, we thought you were this like brilliant guy. I'm not. My secret, I mean, I'm pretty talented in certain things, but I'm not like some sort of, brilliant, like, wow, you're not gonna be like, oh my God, wow, I sat with Akbar. Wow. You know what I mean? Um, Although I guess a lot of people have said that. But point being is this is that I money just amplifies who you are. When I was totally broke, I was giving away change. 50 cents, a dollar, that's what I could afford. And
Hmm.
it's funny, man, when I had slow months in business, I did the opposite of what most people would do. Most people they get scarcity mindset because it's like, oh, business is slow. I better hold on to what I have. Whenever business is slow, I donate. I donate. Like, oh man, business is slow. Let me donate. The, I wasn't always this way at all. I was not a God loving person in my earlier years. I was not practicing. I was not into it. Um, I became so later in life. And it's a very simple thing. God promises you the more you give, the more you get. It's a promise from God. So it's a law of nature, and it's just a fact. And I've proven it, and so many people have proven it time and time again. So it's just a fact. It's not even debatable. It's just a fact, and you have to have sincere intentions. And some people might say I'm broke, this, that. I doubt you started less than me. I lived in an electrical closet with no windows, no hot waters, no showers. We were practically homeless. So I went from the bottom 1% to the top 1%. So, um, and again, it's not just about money. It's about everyone has a God-given talent. Use it to help other people. Use it to make the world a better place. Use it to improve the quality. The definition of philanthropy actually is to improve the condition of mankind. That's actually the definition of philanthropy, is to improve the condition of your fellow man. To give money is just a donor. That's actually defined as just being a donor. Any idiot can be a donor. Anyone with a penny can be a donor. It's not that big of a deal, frankly. But to be a philanthropist is to try to help people improve, which is a really beautiful thing and a beautiful way to live life.
Do you believe in the law of attraction and manifestation?
100%. Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, again, right? I'm when I when I first heard Tony Robbins speak, I was like, um, I was like, um, if you take away the cursing, this is like a sermon. You know, all the like Tony Robbins is considered the all-time greatest in the type of things you're talking about, manifestation, da da da. Everything he's saying is from the holy books. He's just putting his own twist. He's just putting bad language on top of it and jumping and clapping and blah, 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 blah. But it's all from holy books. So I really hope people know that. Um, and some people get really surprised to hear that. Um, so do I believe in it? Of course I believe in it because I believe in God. And if anyone believes in God, then you believe it or not, you believe in it because it's very clearly talked about these things. So for me, this is not, all these things are fact, and you have to, and I'm saying fact on purpose because you have to fully believe in something. Um, when people join me as a client, that's one of the first things I tell them is, I said, here's the mindset you have to come in here. You have to come in this mindset. And I tell people, don't think from your heart, think logically. I've been doing this for 10 years, let my clients make over 100 million. Go Google me. You're not going to see anything negative. I'm doing this for about a decade. It works. I've been doing it for every single niche, every single race, every single age bracket, every single religion, every single political affiliation. Stuff works. So it's a science. It works. So don't come in here saying, oh, let me see, maybe I'll give it a try. I guarantee you it's not going to work. You have to come in here in my program already understanding that, wow, I'm at the right place, right time. This guy got the best deal in the marketplace. This stuff works. This 100% is going to work. I'm so happy I found it. You have to collect that success now. Understand, get that success now and then go collect it. That's the mind frame. And that's how we're taught to pray, is that when you're taught to pray, we're taught to, when you ask for something, it's not like, oh, let me have, I don't know, whatever. Let me get, let my dog get better or whatever. You have to pray, let my dog get better with a full belief that it will happen. That's the proper way to pray, actually. Um, and so, yes, I believe very much so in the power of attraction. And I mean, if you don't believe it, try it. Okay. Because I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been like a bum and I've been a power player, and it's night and day. You absolutely attract a different crowd. You absolutely repel a certain crowd. I mean, if you don't believe in it, you need to try it.
Makes total sense. Yeah. And it's a very interesting perspective, especially what you said about Tony Robbins. Now we went over the make more to give more movement. And now before we move to the first game, I would also like to ask you something about the other big topic that you talk about on social media, which is the hustle culture, because I've seen a lot of videos where you kind of react to hustle culture short videos from that you see online. I love them. And if you had to summarize in a few words your opinion on this, work 16 hours a day habit or thing that has been going on in the last few years, what would you say to summarize in a few words?
We've never done it. I was homeless. We never did it back then. We don't do it now. I believe very much so in leverage, a certain type of leverage, by the way. And what I mean by leverage, leveraging human capital. What I mean by that, my very first customer paid me $5,000. When I deposited that check, my bank balance was $5,100. Okay. The first thing I did was hire a VA. That's what I'm talking about. I just put a picture on Facebook today. I was taking an Uber somewhere because why? Because I got to work in the back of the car. Because think about it, if I have to go somewhere and it's an hour round trip, I can't really do any work in the car. Like, how am I going to work in the car? Like while I'm driving? How does that happen? I don't know how to do it. It's not safe. So I'll take an Uber, and that hour, boom, work in the back of the Uber. What am I saying? Leverage. We forgot that people think that entrepreneurship is a solo sport. We forgot it's a team game. And so it's very stupid. Like it's just if you're working that much, you don't understand the game. Like you don't understand how to like leverage teams. You don't understand how to leverage technology. You don't understand how simple the game is. Uh, and also you're just being disrespectful. You're being disrespectful to your family, to your community. Um, everybody has a right, man. Like for me, it's God first, family second, business third. You know what I'm saying? Now, are there people richer than me who work harder than me? Yep. But guess what? They'll tell you they're like divorced, they're unhappy, their kids hate them, habada hibada hubada habada. So, I'll tell you, a lot of these people who hustle, they have a screwed up personal life. I'll tell you that from experience, from hanging out with these people. I'll tell you that. again, it goes back, and again, it goes back to the Tony Robbins. It goes back to the. I get on podcasts. I've been on so I don't even know. I've been on so many podcasts. People say, "What's the best business book you ever read?" Go read your holy book. Because what does the holy book say? Balance, balance, balance. And that's what it's about. This hustle culture is not balanced. It's as simple as this. The hustle culture is against what God teaches. It's as simple as that. It's as simple and black and white as that. Look, I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've never found any success until I started loving God and listening because God loves us very much. I found out my mom, I'm very blessed. My mom loves me a lot. I'm very blessed. And I found out that God loves us 80 times more than our own mother. And I said, and that I got to tell you, that really hit me hard because my mom loves me so much. I mean, she lets me get away with anything. I can say anything, do anything. I mean, and I was like, wow, God loves me that much more. And it's like, God wants us to win. And he's given us all the secrets to win in the holy book. It's all the stuff that Tony Robbins and all these guys talk about. It's verbatim, verbatim. And so what does it say? It says balance. It says balance. And so if anyone's hustling, you're doing it wrong. Um, and I don't know, like maybe, and even like, let's just say you're young, you're single, you don't have kids, and like, well, bro, I'm young, I'm single, I don't have kids. Okay, cool. But then, you should be spending time doing other things like serving people, spending time with your family, serving people, learning different things. Um, you know, I think that anyway, that's just how I feel. I know there's a lot of people who talk about the opposite, people like the Hermosis and stuff like that. And I like Alex a lot. I knew him from the ClickFunnels days in 2017, 18. Um, I think they're a great couple. I look up to them for their charity work. Um, but I don't believe that someone needs to work all the time, all day, every day.
Yeah, it's actually funny that you say that because I think that just recently they they're kind of understanding that part too because I saw a video on Instagram from either Alex or Leila where they're day in the life and it's actually more human now. And I think
Yeah,
Leila released like a video on YouTube where she says, "Well, guess what? I found that working 14 hours a day wasn't that good of idea." So
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
about the part of the religion, but I think that regarding the balance, I think that everyone sooner or later they come to their understanding.
yeah,
Maybe it's also a matter of season, right? Because there's some season where you need to hustle, and in other season you have the chance to kind of slow down and find the balance. But it's interesting
yeah,
that even the Moses understood that at some point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah,
I think everyone does eventually, right? And like, I mean, I'll say this, like, I will say this. There's there is a little bit of an asterisk. Um, as you get older, you do get busier. Like when your kids are born, right? I was just thinking about this morning. They're pretty low maintenance. Frankly, they just sleep a lot, and when they're hungry, frankly, you can't. I don't like. I'm a male. I don't lactate, right? So the mom's feeding, and they're sleeping a lot. Um, and so it's relatively low maintenance. But when they get older, they require a lot more time. You got to go. You got to parent more. You got to like school stuff. Da, da, da. So I will say, when your life gets busier when you get older, and it's more, I'll say this, it is more, if you're going to put in a little extra work, which there's nothing wrong with putting in a little extra work, okay? It is better to do that younger, because as you get older, other things need more of your time. And when you're younger, like I see young kids, like, and when I say young kids, I mean like in their 20s, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like you're just wasting your time. Like you have any idea how crazy life gets. Like, so I will say, to the younger crowd, it's okay to work a little extra, I think, right now. Yeah. Because you want to be a little bit more free later in life because your family's gonna need you a lot more.
yeah, exactly. Love that. Now, let's get into the first game. I always like to say that in this podcast, this is not going to be the usual, right? The usual podcast with just questions and answers. I like to frame our interview into a little set of games. So the first
Nice.
game is called Choose One. I'm going to
Okay.
ask you simple questions where you just have to choose A or B. In this
Okay.
way, we can get to know you better in a very short amount of time. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Cool. Dogs or cats?
Neither.
Okay. Sports or Netflix and chill?
Um, I'd like to, in a perfect world, I'd like to say go play some volleyball, but I just don't have that, set up where I live over here. So it would probably be Netflix and chill.
Yeah, makes sense. Stand-up
Yeah,
comedy or action movie?
that's a good one. I've done stand-up comedy. I consider myself more a comedian, actually. Um, but I don't find a lot of stand-up comedy funny. So I would say action movie, but I would probably prefer a romantic comedy.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
TV or YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I YouTube because I watch some Turkish dramas and YouTube I mostly watch I mostly watch like faith-based lectures, business talks, and some Turkish dramas. And maybe movie trailers, and obviously some funny reels and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Music concert or date night?
No, no, concerts are too loud for me. They're very too loud for me. So definitely date night.
All right. Consuming short videos or consuming long videos?
Definitely 100% short videos, no doubt about that at all.
Okay. Recording short videos or recording long videos?
Yeah, it's a good question. Um, I think long is probably more profitable in my experience.
Yeah. Now, the last one, go live on a webinar or record a VSL?
Man, yeah, interesting. I always think about that. In a perfect world, yeah, you want to do a VSL for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Akbar, congrats. You passed the first game. How was
Yeah,
it?
good. Yeah, it's good. It's fun. Uh,
Nice. So, just earlier in this first game, you mentioned we mentioned the recording videos, right? So, I consumed a lot of your content before this interview, and I noticed that you worked in a lot of different types of business models. We have retail, door-to-door sales, selling stuff on Craigslist, phone call sales, and now online business. Now, for each of these, I'd love to hear the thing that you hated the most about that business model and the thing that you love the most about it, including the type of business that you're in right now. So you can pick like three, maybe like retail, door-to-door
I'm
sales, and online
uh,
business.
retail, the thing I love, and one thing I love and one thing I hate. Is that what you said?
Yep, exactly.
What I hated about retail is it's very confining and repetitive. I have to go to the same store every day. They say the customer's always right. I don't believe that. Um, I didn't like the neighborhoods that my retail stores were in. Um, I guess that's a lot. I was supposed to say one thing. And one thing I liked about retail, I didn't like retail at all. I think when I was younger, I think one benefit I got from retail, working at like a dollar store, is I constantly saw money coming in.
Hmm.
So I think it developed potentially a good money mindset where I was never worried about money because I'm like, just go get it, just go make it. And I developed that at a young age, so I would say that's potentially a good thing. Um, Another model, door to door, what I hated about it is, no, well, I don't think anyone likes going door to door unless you're a sociopath. So definitely don't like that. And then it was always nice to make a sale. The feeling of making a sale is always good. So that's probably one thing. Currently, what I do is coaching people to their first million online, typically coaching coaches or agencies or what have you, um, or um, mentoring coaches and agencies to their first million online. Um, I'm a high empathy person, so I bump into a lot of kind of people who are in terrible situations. Like I give talks all around the country, like I said, and there's always somebody coming up to me. Oh yeah, my wife left me and took everything. My husband left me and took everything. And it's like I just don't enjoy listening to these stories at all. Um, and the thing I love about it, uh, I'm the freedom it gives me, the freedom it gives me. I'm a big freedom junkie. So I get to wear what I want, say what I want. I'm not going to get canceled for my political views or whatever, even though I'm not that like, I'm not that guy, but like, meaning I say what I want to say. Like if I'm like this whole gender thing, like what is it? This whole like I identify as a cat or all this nonsense that's going on. I can be very straightforward and be like, these people are mentally ill. This is my, this is, and that's not going to affect my business at all. So I have to be myself. I can't be, I enjoy the freedom of being myself. And so that's definitely my favorite part about running an online business.
Yeah, interesting. Well, we can move to the second game. So this was a question that just to not create confusion, but I loved what you said, and I think you have, especially the part about retail, the thing that the fact that you see a lot of money flowing, and so you
Yeah.
don't develop a scarcity mindset because you actually see there's a lot of money that people have to spend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
it's a
mean,
very
somebody
interesting
just
one.
bought, yeah, look, here's the thing, man. There's a lot of broke people out there, but then there's a lot of people who are not. Somebody just bought one of Hulk Hogan's boots for $187,000. I mean, and there's countless stories like this. So, you know, um, I think we got to stop focusing on broke people because, why are we doing that when that's just going to mess up our mind?
So true, so true. And when it comes to business, having this scarcity mindset and focusing on the broke part of the world is like it's so
Yeah.
it's something that creates a block, like a roadblock in your path.
Yeah.
So I love that perspective. Now, the next game is called Coffee Date. So we're in a coffee with a personal brand. So coffee is still in theme. Here's how it works. So you can have 3 coffee dates with whoever you want. One needs to be alive, one needs to be from the past, and one needs to be a fictional character. All right.
Huh.
So, who would you pick for your 3 coffee dates?
Um, so fictional character, I don't quite understand.
Yeah, it can be from a book, can be from a TV
Oh, okay,
series.
okay, got you. Interesting. Okay. It's gonna take me a minute to answer this.
Take your
So
time.
someone, I would say someone, obvious, someone who's passed away. I would say definitely like our prophets that we believe in, our like Prophet Muhammad, definitely. Peace be upon him. Who was in a book, the most influential people in the history of the world. He was ranked number one. Um, he he was our prophet that, and now there's over 1 billion Muslims, and he started that, and he changed the world. So he was an unbelievable leader, father, just everything, just a perfect human being. So definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, him. As far as someone who passed away, someone who's living, interestingly enough, um, yeah, I don't, and I hope this doesn't sound weird, but like I don't, and this could be just a bad thing on my end. I don't necessarily know anyone that's alive that I'd want to. I mean, like, what am I going to say? Tony Robbins? I mean, sure. I mean, but I don't know. I've seen all this stuff. He's great. I love it. I mean, I don't know how much benefit that would be. Meaning, I, 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 I don't know. I mean, I guess, let me think. I guess it would have to be Tony Robbins, actually, because I'm
Okay.
into personal development and stuff like that. I guess so. I mean, I have to give that a lot more thought, honestly speaking. And then as far as a fictional character, that's a good question. It's a hard question, actually.
It's a tricky
Um,
one, yeah.
it's a tricky one. I mean, I don't know. The first thing I said thought to myself was Jack Sparrow.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
okay. Then you pass
yeah.
the second game.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah,
Uh,
it was this is a trickier one, but like
yeah,
it
that
makes
was a
you.
little trickier. That one's a little trickier. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, one thing I love to do on this show is to give listeners a behind the scenes look on the on how personal brand driven businesses actually grow and are built, right? So, in your business right now, what's one thing that's really clicking and is giving you momentum, right? And on the flip
Yeah.
side, and sorry to interrupt, but on the flip
Yeah.
side, if you had a magic
Yeah.
wand that could instantly
Yeah.
fix or improve one part of your brand's growth and
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
what would it be? So we have one thing that's giving you momentum and one thing
Yeah.
that you would instantly
Yeah.
fix.
Yeah. I can answer this very well. And that is, like I said, I speak a lot, and I think my presentations are really good. So, and I hope that doesn't sound weird, but they just, they are, and I worked really hard on it. So, um, I I figured out the key to a good presentation. You give people your why, you let people know about you and your personality and your why, and people really attach to that. Like people love to make more, give more. And then I teach them, like, it's about talking to the right audience. So, like I said, I help people with a talent, I help people become happier, healthier, wealthier, but you don't have enough clients because you don't have a client acquisition machine. So then I start showing you how to build a client acquisition machine. And then I do like a little bit of a magic show. I'm like, what's your offer? And I'm like, no, that's not that great. Watch this. And then I kind of reword it. And they're like, wow, that's incredibly better. Um, and so I do a little bit of a magic show, which I think Russell Brunson and them call like I forget what the big demonstration, I think they call it. And then I'm like, all right, y'all can go build a client acquisition. So during my presentation, I show them that like I'm an authority, I know what I'm talking about, I really impress them. And then I'm like, and I'm likable or whatever for certain people. And either now you have two choices, go make that yourself, or I can build it for you. Right. And so that converts well. Okay. If I was to wave a magic wand, it would just be to send a lot more traffic to that presentation, which is something we're working on. I think we just very recently kind of got it clicking in this format. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, right? It's like, you know, that's the elegance of this business, right? You get a good VSL or whatever, or webinar or presentation, or whatever, and you find that it's clicking, and then you go send a bunch of traffic to it. Uh, so so it's kind of an elegant thing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you were kind of prepared for that. You already had
Yes, I
the
was.
answers. You had
Yeah.
it looks like you did your own like thinking before 2026 came so that you
Yeah.
already know, yeah, I know what I want to do. I know what
Yeah.
needs to be fixed.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I will say that.
Great, great. So we can move to the last game and then I'll let you do the rest of your day. So um, this last game is called Flash Branding. So basically, I'm going to give you some fill in the blank sentences and you have to answer as fast as possible with the first thing and most natural answer that you have. All right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. So let's start with the first sentence. My favorite content creator is.
Yeah. Oh, I like the creator of Yellowstone. I forget his name. He's very good.
Okay,
It's a
okay.
TV show called Yellowstone, but he's made a lot of other shows too. He's produced a lot of content. He's created 1923, 1883, Yellowstone. I forget, it's like Sheridan or something like that. I forget his name, but he's very good.
Okay. The best advice I ever received was.
Do what you do best, outsource the rest.
Love it. I love it. I think I'm gonna write it somewhere. Love it. The most important moment of my life was when
I think when I started to love God.
I'm struggling and I need help. I want to talk with.
Either my wife or a cousin of mine.
Cool. The biggest risk I ever took was.
I'm a very high risk person, so I don't really like probably what I consider nothing other someone else considers high risk. So I don't know. it's hard for me to say, like, I mean, I have a very high definition of that. So that's like, oh, I bet my entire house on this webinar campaign. That would be my definition of super high risk. So if I was to bet like my last dollar on like a webinar, that doesn't mean anything to me. So it's hard for me to answer that question.
Okay, got it. Then
I'm
the
very
last,
risky. I'm very comfortable with the risk.
interesting. Now
Yeah.
the last one, and you can take your time with this. So success to me looks like,
Yeah, I believe success to me looks like that you are helping. Well, I'll actually give you something interesting. I journal, which is something I really recommend. Okay. And I've been journaling for years actually. Um, and I recap my days. What were my highlights? What were the things I didn't like? What were my achievements? Da 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 da. And so I have been able to pinpoint kind of the quote unquote perfect day. So the perfect day is, and again, I look at money now as a scorecard. It's just like it's a fun thing. Of course, you have to pay your bills and stuff, but um, and how much are you impacting? So the perfect day for me is one that I make good money. I have a good connection with like my wife. Like we go out for breakfast or coffee or something. We had a good laugh or something. We had a nice date or whatever. Um, and I did something charitable, like meaningful, like even like for example, a free consult with a local non-for-profit. That's a very good example because I've done that a bunch. So if I've made good money that day, I've had a great connection. I've had a good connection with my wife, and I've done something philanthropic, hands-on. That for me is a very good day.
Akbar, thank you for joining me today. It was a real pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Where can people find you or contact you in case they want to know more about what you do?
Just go to my website, which is my name.com, akbarsheikh.com, and you'll see a little presentation there. And if you like it, then we can talk. And if you don't like it, then pray for me.
Yeah. And is there any big project that you're working on at the moment that you like people to know about? I
Yeah.
saw, by the way, that you also have started a podcast, right? On the Profits Profit channel. Am I right?
No, I interviewed him.
Oh, okay.
I don't necessarily have a podcast myself, but I do interview people and give it to them as an asset. Um, I need to share more of those. But um, well, we're working on an AI software that will basically launch your business in a matter of completely, most people it takes them forever to launch their business. Some people months, some people a year. It takes people forever to launch an online business. So we're launching an AI software that will launch your business within minutes.
Cool. Cool. So
Yeah.
when it's ready, we need to be ready because it
Yeah.
sounds great. It sounds like a great offer.
Yeah, man. And we're excited about it.
All right. Then thanks for taking the time and I'll see you next time, all right?
Thanks. That was a really good one. I've done a lot of these, and this was a very well curated, very well thought out. You did your research. The games were fun. It's really a quality experience. I generally actually don't like doing podcasts, but this was very enjoyable, and I take my hat off to you for doing a job very well done. I think this podcast will go far.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just I'm flattered. Really. Thank you so much.